Hi everybody, this is Josie with Cedar Creek Homestead, and today it's really cold outside. It's in the almost 30, and I know some of you are in places where 30 would sound really good to you, but here in Oklahoma 30 is chilly, pretty cold. And this is supposed to be the warmest day that we're going to have in the next 10 to 14 days. So I'm trying to find projects, and I don't really have to go searching. They're really right in front of me, staring at me. So I have lots of indoor projects that I can do to get ready for springtime to get here, and things that can keep me busy while I'm trying to keep out of the cold. Of course, we have to keep doing our daily chores, feeding our animals and checking on the baby calves. We have new baby calves being born about every day or so, and we're excited about that. But today we're going to do an inside project, and we're going to discuss vacuum sealing. Now, I have a food saver, and I'm in no way advocating the food saver. I'm not telling you to go get the food saver. That's just what I have, and so for demonstration purposes, that's what I'm going to use. We're going to discuss jars, and we're going to discuss the canisters, and we're going to find out some ways that we can put food into longer term storage to help us get by just a little bit further and make our pantry stretch in the times that we're facing today, with food prices going up and gas prices going up and other things that we might face, just to give us a little bit of food security for our families, and so that we can look well to the ways of our household, and that we don't have to live in fear or be scared, and maybe possibly even help a neighbor that's in need. What I wanted to show you this morning is these, got my food saver plugged in. I didn't even think about that, but I've got, this is my food saver, and you may have this model, you may have other models, or you may have a model from another company, but this is what I'm going to be using today as the base to be able to use these other products that I've got. Now, one thing that all of the homesteaders and the prepping people, the prepping community will tell you, is that last year we had a shortage of canning jars, and probably anticipating the same thing this year. If not canning jars, for sure canning lids. And you can use wide mouth and regular mouth jars with the food saver. You can also, and you can use any size. You can use the little jelly jars, you can use the quart jars, and you can even use the half-gallon jars to seal, as long as you've got the adapters. To use one of these jars, you're going to need your food saver, or whatever you have that's comparable to a food saver, and you're going to need the attachments for the top, the regular attachment or the largemouth attachment, depending on which jar you're going to use. And what you're going to do is put your food product in your jar, and you're going to set your ring to the side for a moment, and you're going to put your food product in, put your lid on, and then your attachment. And I'll show you here, we've got some cereal, and I normally put the cereal in a half-gallon jar, but for purposes today we're going to put it in a quart jar and put it on the shelf, and you can have, depending on how much cereal you eat, you know, you may have several bowls, you may have 3 bowls, I don't know. Some people can eat a bigger bowl of cereal. But all you do is you pour your product in the jar, and you're going to put it in there. And I probably just overfilled it a little bit. And I kind of move my jar around and shake my jar, and pardon the noise, but shake the jar so that I've got all the product in there. And then what I do next is, let me put these canisters over here for just a minute. We'll talk about those in a moment. But I put the product in the jar, and I put the lid on the top of it. And then, depending on what size, this is a quart jar. So you're going to put your quart, or like your regular attachment on there. And I'm going to, mine has a hose attachment that comes out right here. And I put it on just like this, and turn it on. Turn on the power. Now this is going to be noisy, so bear with me for just a minute while it sucks the air out of here. And I'm going to choose accessory, and it's going to start sucking that out of there. And it's noisy, so just bear with me for just a moment. This is a project you're not going to want to do if you have little children and they're trying to take their naps. This wouldn't be something that you would want to do. You'd want to do it while they're playing. So when you hear that sound, you know that it's, and you take that off and take this off, and then it's vacuum sealed. See, your lid's done, just like if you canned food products in your water bath canner or your pressure canner. The lid's done like this and it's vacuum sealed, and so you can put this cereal on the shelf and it'll last you for a while. And you know, if you watch your sales papers and get your cereal while it's on sale, put it up like this. Some people put them in Mylar bags, but and that's fine but I would put mine, I would put in Mylar bags or the Food Saver bags, and then I would also put it in another container, because the way I store mine, I don't want to have rodents or anything else get into it, because I do live on a farm, and this time of year, you know, you have field mice and everything else wanting to come in and find a warm place to stay. So just make sure that you think about how you're going to store your stuff. So for me, glass works better. And so that's how you use your canning jars. But like I said, with the shortages, we know that we want to protect our canning jars and the lids to use when we're actually water bath canning or pressure canning. And so what are the other options? Well, let me show you here. I ordered a long time ago, I ordered the canister set, and I'll show you the box just because it's what I have. I have the Food Saver vacuum canisters. Now, I looked on Amazon and I did not see these particular canisters on there. They do have some canister sets from other companies that are vacuum seal. I can't speak to how well they work, but just if you'll go down and look at the comments and look at what people have to say about them, you may decide to take a chance on them. I did go on eBay, and there's a bunch of these on eBay, and if you wanted to invest in them, I saw the sets for anywhere from $20 on up in price. And if you wanted to invest in them, then you know, this is a good way to save your jars. Let me show you what you do with these. They're really meant to put something in, like chips or cookies or crackers or something, and put them in here, and you do it just the same way. You put the hose on and you vacuum seal it just the same way, and then it has a little button right here that you release, and it lets this tubing go, and then this is vacuum sealed. But I don't use them that way. I use my jars. The kids laugh at me because when we use a glass jar of product from the store, I'll say, don't throw that jar away. And Howie always told me, you've got so many jars, you need to throw them away. But I saw the need for them. These are all the different, you know, there's all kinds of products that you can store. And these would store well in your little jelly jars, your canning jars. But then there you've taken a canning jar that it might be hard for you to get. And so if you use these, this had some kind of sauce in it. And of course you can put your rice and your pasta products. This is leftover carrot cake flavored Hershey's Kisses, and beans and pasta. Those are actually in regular canning jars though. But all of these are canned, and you can hear they're sealed. See, you don't hear anything at all. I wouldn't want to use these to can in. I'm sure people have, but I see the benefit of using them this way and using my canning jars for the purpose that they're made for. And so this one is an empty pasta sauce jar. I'm sorry, the Atlas ones that have all the marks on them. This one's an old pickled okra jar, and I take the labels off of them, but I've left the label on this just so you can see what kind of jar it really is. This one is a Parmesan cheese jar, a jelly jar, And all of these can be used to seal product in. And I'll show you I'll seal this cereal up in them just to kind of give you an idea of how you can do it. Or I may just unseal these. I think what I'll do is unseal these jars just to show you how they can be used. And so let's use this little one that's got the Red Hots in it. And so what you'll do is you'll put your product in there, and you just you put your lid on there as usual. Screw it on there. See, you can hear it. Well, you can't hear it, but it's not sealed. And so you're going to put your jar, and this one's too fine. You may have to try the different jars to see which one it fit in. But I'm going to put this right inside this jar, just in this canister. Put the lid on it. Let me move this big one out of the way so you can see. And you're going to put your tubing in right here. And you're going to do just like I did that canning jar. So bear with me on the noise. It's going to do this. We'll try to skip through this part. Okay, and so what you do here is, see this little button on the lid? You just do that. Take that off, and then this is sealed. So you've saved you've saved a jar, a jelly jar that you would have used, a small one. You saved it for your jelly, and saved this to put the Red Hots or whatever other kind of candy you're trying to save. And so this one is mustard seed. And so I'm going to put the lid on this one, and I think I'll have to use the big canister for this one. And I'll show you another one. Okay, I also have one more canister that came by itself. These three, the small, medium, large, they come in a set of 3. And they had one that's a bigger one, and I never was able to get that one. So I only have a certain, if I get too big, like not a gallon size, but like I don't have any sitting around here, but it's a bigger pickle jar. I was really wanting to get the bigger canister so that I could do those as well, but I haven't been able to find it. But I have plenty of jars to use. So you just set that in there, same process as the last time, and we'll put this back on here, and I'll try to zip through the noisy parts or do something. If I don't, just forgive me and overlook the noise. Here we go again. Hear your machine when it's getting ready to be finished. It starts making a different noise. Okay, so you pull that out, release the pressure where you can get your lid off, maybe, and then it's sealed. And so you saved another jar by putting your mustard seed or whatever it is in these little jars. So save your jars, save your canning jars for your canning processes and putting stuff up that way, and save these jars that you're using for other purposes when you get them from the grocery store. Instead of throwing them in the trash to be put in with everybody else's trash, recycle them and use them for longer term storage. Not longest term storage, but longer term storage to make your products last. You can do your cereal. You can put crackers in half-gallon jars. You can do graham crackers, saltine crackers, oyster crackers, and just make your products go farther. Oatmeal, chocolate chips, anything that, I try to do anything that a critter could get into. I don't like to put bags of food on the shelf because I figure they can chew through that. So I think it's prudent, it's wise, to do this because we're going to be searching for canning jars and canning lids. Now the manufacturers are saying that they think that they'll be able to provide jars this year. The lids are what's in question, and we'll just have to see how many people are really into canning this year. The seed companies are already saying that they're having a challenge keeping up with all of the seed orders, and so we'll have to do our very best just to keep up with everything. And so try to save your jars, clean them out. Make sure before you put any product in them though that your jar is completely dry, your lid is completely dry, because you'll cause a problem there if they're not. Just get them completely dry before you use them, and then use them for your different products that are dry products. Now these jars do not take the place of canning jars when you're hot water bath canning or your pressure canning. Try to use your jars that are meant for canning. I think your results will be better, and I hope this helps. I hope I've given you a little bit of encouragement in storing food, and just we all just need to try our best to keep canning, keep prepping, keep storing food back. Now of course y'all see that one is Hershey's Kisses, and I would say that I guess I would argue that you don't need to have Hershey's Kisses on your shelf if you don't want them, but you know, somebody might need some chocolate sometime, and I can help them out. Maybe even me. Anyway, I hope this helped y'all, and I hope you have a good day today. And as always, I love y'all and appreciate you. Blake told me, said, Mama, make sure to tell them, like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Josie from Cedar Creek Homestead. We're gone.